To book a private reading, email me at tarakite@hotmail.com. Thanks. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thanks for tuning in. This week's tarot reading is for November the 21st to the 27th. And I first want to wish everybody in the States a happy Thanksgiving. Alright, and for the main focus, we got the King of Pentacles. And I also pulled a card from the Messages from Your Angels deck by Doreen Virtue, and we got Bridget. Alright, and before I pulled the cards, I saw an image of a turtle. And the turtle is a symbol of staying grounded. And so this week, I just feel like it is so important for us to stay grounded and to stay focused and to not get distracted. And I feel like it's really important for us to focus on what is really important instead of what is not. You know, this week might be a good week to really work out what is important and, you know, what is just a distraction. Alright, and I also saw an image of a bear. And the bear is a symbol of family and home. And this doesn't surprise me since Thanksgiving is this week. And so, yeah, it just seems like family and home are important to us this week. And, you know, mama bears are protective of their young. And with this energy, I feel like it's important for us to not let anyone cross our boundaries and to use good judgment and to really listen to our own intuition and to really pay attention to how we're truly feeling. And Bridget says, caution is warranted. Look deeper into the situation before proceeding further. And so, yeah, I just feel like it's so important for us to take the time to really pay attention to how we're truly feeling about things. And don't let anybody make you feel like, you know, don't let anybody make you feel like you're in a rush to make a choice. And I feel like it's important for us to really use our head. And, you know, just because, you know, others are saying something doesn't mean that it's true. You know, I just feel like it's so important for us to really, you know, think critically. You know, it's important for us to think for ourselves this week. Alright, and we also got the King of Pentacles. And with this card, I feel like it is important for us to realize our own power and to, you know, it's important for us to not give our power away. You know, you are not powerless. You know, we are all creators, and, you know, we truly have the power to create the life that we want. You know, you are not powerless. You know, you can do it. You can create the life that you want. And don't let anybody make you think otherwise. And, you know, the King of Pentacles is also, you know, this card is about finances here. And I feel like there is a sense of empowerment headed our way this week. It's like we're realizing, you know, we do have the power to change things around. And, you know, we do have the power to, you know, draw in whatever resources that we need. You know, we have the power to create the life that we want. And, you know, this card with the King of Pentacles, you know, he can represent a boss. So maybe some of you are getting a new job, you know. Or, you know, he could be a financial advisor. You know, maybe somebody gives you some good advice about your finances. But it just seems like, you know, we're taking action this week. You know, we're taking charge. And this may be with finances. You know, some of us, you know, we might be making some good decisions in regards to our finances. But this could not be as well. This could just be us, you know, realizing, you know, our potential and realizing that yes, we are, we are powerful, and we have what it takes to, I just feel like in general, we're realizing that we have what it takes to create the life that we want. Alright, and for the beginning of the week, we got the Empress, and for the middle of the week, we got the Magician, and for the end of the week, we got the Nine of Cups here. Alright, and with the Empress, Spirit really wants us to know that we are loved, and that, we are so special and so unique. I just feel like it's time for us to wake up and to realize our own divinity. We all come from the divine. And, once again, I just feel like it's so important for us to not give our power away and to realize that, yes, we are powerful and we are creators. The Empress can indicate, being creative. And I feel like, we do have, some of you out there have some really good ideas. And, all of us are just so wonderful and so creative and have really good ideas. And I feel like it's so important for us to realize that. And to realize that we can create the life that we want, and I feel like it's important for us to keep following our dreams, and don't let anybody make you think that you can't do something, because you can. And just know that you are creative and your ideas are wonderful. Alright. And for the middle of the week, we got the Magician. And, this goes along with what I was saying, we have it in us to do whatever it is that we want to do. We can make our dreams happen. We're like the Magician here. And, he has all the... Just remember, you have what it takes. You are capable. You have everything you need to make your dreams happen. Don't think that you can't do it already. Don't let anything hold you back. There's all the suits in this card. We got the Pentacles, we got the Cups, the Swords, the Wands. All the elements are present in this card, and so know that you already have everything that you need to move forward. Don't think like this needs to happen or that needs to happen in order for you to move forward. You can do it now. And it's like the energy we had last week. I just felt like last week we were making the best out of what the situation, is at this moment. It's like we're making the best out of what we already have. It's like, let's say you don't have a car, but you got a bike. But it's like we're not dwelling over not having a car. It's like, oh, well, I got this bike still, and I can still get here, here, and here with my bike. I just feel like it's like last week, we're making the best out of what resources we have now. And I just feel like it's so important for us to, don't let anything knock you down. Don't just keep moving forward, no matter what. And I feel like it's like we're making the best out of whatever cards we have been dealt. And, I just feel like we're staying positive, and we're realizing that, we do have what it takes. We are all creators, and, we do have the power to create the life that we want and to make our dreams happen. Alright, and for the end of the week, we got the Nine of Cups here. And I just love this card. You know, every time I look at this card, it's like he is happy about, it's like he's proud of himself. It's like he just accomplished something here. And I feel like, you know, through our actions, you know, by, you know, by determination and by moving forward, and, you know, I just feel like we're making our dreams come true by whatever actions that we're taking. You know, by staying focused, by staying grounded, not getting distracted. And I just feel like, you know, we're making some, like, good judgments this week, like using our head this week. And by really, you know, paying attention to our own intuition, you know, we're making some good things happen this week. You know, I just feel like there's this feeling of us, you know, making things happen. It's like we have this to-do list and we're actually doing things. You know, and I just feel like there is a sense of self-confidence and, you know, self-empowerment headed our way. It's like we're, you know, we're proud of ourselves here by the end of the week. It's like we made things happen, and, you know, we kept going no matter what the obstacles were. And, you know, this card, you know, represents, it can represent, you know, dreams coming true. And it just seems like there's this feeling of, you know, things going our way. And I just feel like there's a sense of optimism and knowing that, yes, we have the power to do whatever it is that we want to do. All right, and another message from Spirit I got this week was, Spirit doesn't want us to, you know, judge each other. You know, I just feel like compassion and understanding is important this week. And also not to judge ourselves too harshly as well. You know, we all make mistakes. And I feel like it's so important for us to realize that, yes, we do deserve our dreams. You deserve it. You are worth it. I want everybody to, you know, tell themselves this week that they're wonderful and amazing, because you truly are. You know, Spirit loves you. You know, you are amazing. I want everybody to just know that this week. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Much love and many blessings to you all. And for a personal reading, email me at tarakite@hotmail.com. And I just wanted to thank everybody. You know, thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube, and thank you to all my followers on Google Plus and Tumblr. Alright, now I'm going to pull a card for the signs. Hi, Earth signs. You got Vanessa, and you also got the 5 of Wands here. And Vanessa says, to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? It just seems like something's confusing for you guys with this 5 of Wands here. It's like, you know, all the puzzle pieces are scattered. It just seems like it's really hard for you to make a choice. You know, I feel like it's really important for you to really take that time to meditate and to take some time out for yourself to really, you know, to really see what it is that you truly want. And I feel like it's important for you to really pay attention to, you know, how you're truly feeling, and, you know, keep following your heart as well. You know, what do you think is the right thing to do? You know, which choice should you make? You know that deep down, you know, what's the right thing to do. And, you know, I just feel like it's important for you to, you know, pay attention to how you're truly feeling, and to also, you know, use your head as well. And, you know, and this card can also indicate, you know, some sort of competition, confrontation, but just know that, you know, you can get through this. You know, you can put, you know, and if you feel like things are, you know, the energy is kind of confusing, like scattered energy. It just seems like you guys, in general, have been having a hard time focusing. And I feel like it's important for you to, this week, to try to bring some order about and to really get organized. And to also, you know, it's important for you to think critically and to use your head. Alright, we'll have a wonderful week, Earth signs. Hi, water signs. You got Layla, and you also got the Ace of Wands here. Alright, and with Layla, she says spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. And yeah, I just feel like it's important for you to take the time to relax and meditate. And, you know, I love taking nature walks. You know, I always feel like I get, you know, new ideas and a new perspective when I take nature walks. And I feel like, you know, some good ideas are going to be headed your way. And I feel like these ideas are going to open some doors for you here with the Ace of Wands. And yeah, I just feel like some new opportunities are headed your way and some doors will be opening for you. Alright, we'll have a wonderful week, water signs. Hi, air signs. You got the Fool. And you also got Bethany. And Bethany says, when you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat today, such as a massage, sea salt bath, or pedicure. Yeah, and I just feel like you guys have been working really hard, and I feel like you deserve a much-needed break to really, you know, pamper you and to just relax here. And with the Fool card, I just feel like it's important for you to allow yourself just some time to daydream and to really think about the possibilities and, you know, what you really want. And I feel like it would be a good week for you to just, you know, be carefree, you know, let your hair down, have some fun. Alright, we'll have a wonderful week, air signs. Hi, fire signs. You got the Sun card. And you also got Francesca. Alright, and Francesca says, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. And yeah, I just feel like it's so important for you guys to really focus in on the joy here. You know, there's sunflowers in this card, and, you know, sunflowers turn their head to whatever direction the sun is in the sky, and so, you know, I just feel like, you know, it's important for you to, you know, chase the sun and have some fun. You know, I just feel like it's important for you to focus in on the joy and to do things that make you happy and to just, you know, be carefree and let your hair down. And, you know, I just feel like it's so important for you to, you know, focus on, you know, what's going right instead of what's not going right in your life. And to focus in on, you know, what it is that you do want instead of what you don't want. Alright, we'll have a wonderful week, fire signs.